you can use the subject pronoun as the subject of the sentences or clause. It tells who's doing something, and it is usually at the beginning of the sentences. You can also use a subject pronoun after a linking verb like am, is, are, was, were, or be. The subject pronoun are I, you, he, she, it, we, they. And after finishing the experiment, for example, after finishing the experiment, I show my teacher the result. So here we have the subject pronoun or I. Or you can use an object pronoun after an action verb. You can also use an object pronoun after a preposition, like at, for, off, on, to, or what, or with. This is a preposition. The object pronoun are me, you, him, her, it, us, and them. For example, after finishing the experiment, my teacher showed me the result. So except for after finishing the experiment, I show my teacher the result. Here, when we use the object pronoun, and it's after finishing the experiment, the teacher show me the result. Show or after an action verb, so we use an object pronoun. Here, I are used as the subject of this next part of the sentences. Or used as a subject of sentences, or this clause, So yeah, we use a subject pronoun. So let's practice. While the Holloway are traveling, they have asked Gwen to care for their dog. While the Holloways are traveling, you see, traveling are, our verb, our expression. Traveling are like an action, but we don't use what it is called again, an object pronoun after an action verb. Like it's after the action verb traveling, but we don't use them because you see they are separated into this have like. These are two dependent clauses together. So here, while the Holloways are traveling, that's one sentence. And this part here, we would just look at the part where they're after the comma. And we definitely use they because here they are used as a subject. Is Annie going to the comic book convention without me? Okay. Without I, it's not going to work, Our favorite author gave us autographed copies of his best-selling novel. Okay, we use us because it is after the action verb gave. It's not gonna be gave we. The toddler wobbled toward her with its arm waving in the air. Toward. Okay, I got to say toward would be like, a preposition, and it can be after a preposition. Not only can it goes after like an action verb, but it can goes after the preposition, and here we have the preposition is toward, so we use her. I always rinse the dishes before I put them in the dishwasher. Put is an action verb, and we have put before the word them, so this will be the correct pronoun to complete the sentences. After Mr. Macmillan told my sale figure were disappointing, I pledged to him that I would try harder. Okay, to is a preposition. To is a preposition, like to somebody or to something. So we would use this pronoun. If you're wondering who brought this amazing muffin, it was me. Wait, do we use I? Because this kind of like expressed which one is the subject, you know. If you're wondering who brought the amazing muffin, it was I. I brought the amazing muffin. Me brought amazing. I think it's going to be I. Fit in better. You know. Even though our kitten is usually timid with stranger, she ran over to Brenda and pounced on her. On is a preposition. So, her, we would use this object pronoun, her. Is it object pronoun? Oh yeah, object pronoun. We invite Jalen to play miniature golf with us next time we go. Okay, with is a preposition, and we have with stand before this pronoun, and you know, we use object pronoun before a preposition. I mean after the object pronouns. Wait, we use a preposition before the object pronoun. So we would use us here. Since I won't be able to visit Mia and Bill for their birthday, I will have to send them their gift. Okay, we have send is an action verb, and we have an action verb stand before an object pronoun. So we would use them because it is an object pronoun. When Gordon was on the staff of the school newspaper, he covered the school athletic program. He covered. Okay, here. Okay, this is like two dependent clause, right here. When Gordon was on staff of school newspaper, it stand alone makes sense. So it is an independent clause. An independent clause. So it stand alone makes sense. This one is another independent clause. Two independent clause standing together, and we would look at the second independent clause where it is after the comma here. He are being used as a subject in this next independent clause. So it is definitely a subject pronouns. Our manager quit suddenly, and Mr. McLean, who's hired to replace her, won't start until next week. Okay, replace is kind of like an action verb, you know, replace something with something. It's an action verb, and only action verb only stand before an object pronoun, so we would use her. I was thrilled when my teammates voted me the captain. I the captain. Voted me the captain of our team. Okay, let's see. We have voted are an action verb, and it's an action verb only stand in front of object pronouns. So I would use me because me is an object pronouns. Despite our best effort, the Richard Tigers beat us before we could make it to the championships. Beat are an action verb, and it stand before an object pronouns. And we have us is an object pronoun, so it would have to be us. The Christensens are wonderful neighbor. It was them who brought us this tin of cookies. Wonderful. It was them. It was they who brought us. Okay. We have it was here. It is neither an action verb or a preposition. So I don't think it would be an object pronoun, and I think it would be subject pronouns. Because it is telling us, like, the subject that they, the Christiansens, who brought us this tin of cookies. So I think it would be they. When we first adopted our dog Dusty from the animal shelter, I bathed him in a wading pool outside. Bath, or whatever it's called, are an action verb, and action verbs only stand in front of object pronouns, and we have him is an object pronoun, so we would use him. Okay, when my family moved to Ireland next year, I will apply for Irish citizen. We have this sentences here. I will apply for Irish citizen. It's an independent clause, and so this here is the beginning of this independent clause, so it would be a subject pronouns. Okay, now I think we all got it, so I'm just gonna do it. We finally remember that it was her, it was she. Thanks to your effort, we have emerged as leader in the energy industry. Because Rudy was the captain of his swim team. He was responsible for assisting his new member. You may not know this, but it is I who hold the school record for wrestling win. It looks as though they will be ready to go before we will. It was we who invited you out to this restaurant, so we'll pay for dinner. I'm almost positive that it is she who is in charge of the recording office supplies. And we're done.